everybody. Welcome to Life Stories. I'm so glad that you're here. I'm Shara Goswick, your host, and today I am celebrating 2 years of Life Stories. It's just me today, but I wanted to talk to you about a lot of things. Some things that I've done this past year, and then some changes that I'm going to be making in the future for Life Stories. I'm very excited about all of it. So, I'm not going to do word of the week today, but I will say I'm going to continue doing the word of the week. If you're new here, these words of the week are not obviously words I think you should know because they're all very simple words. The word of the week is just a word that stands out from the interview that I've done, just something to remind us and make us think maybe about whatever it is I'm talking about. I thought about getting rid of it. I do love hearing my granddaughter's voice every time I turn that on, but so many people have told me to keep it. So I think I'm just going to keep it for now. So I want to first say thank you. Thank you to whoever is listening right now. I don't know you're listening unless you tell me. And I have gotten the sweetest, most incredible, encouraging comments from people, text messages and, Facebook messages. And people have just blown me away with their kindness and encouragement. And I never know, not only if somebody's listening, or I don't know if, you're being encouraged by anything that I'm sharing. And it just makes my heart so happy when you tell me that you are. I don't expect it every time. I'm not looking for it every time, but it really, really is awesome to me whenever I hear from people and they tell me that they're listening and that they love it and that they want me to keep going and that they, or were blessed by something that I said or did. It just really makes my heart happy. I want to say thank you to my guests. I have had the most incredible guests these past 2 years, and I'm not stopping anytime soon. I'm going to explain why I started in a minute, but I'm just amazed, continually amazed at what people are doing across the world to help others. We don't always hear the good stuff. We hear a lot of negativity. If you listen to the news at all, it's just a lot of negative things going on. And it's not, I mean, it's real, it's really happening. And so I think that's why I like sharing these stories because we need to hear positive stories. We need to hear encouragement. We need to laugh. We need to hear stories of people that are doing great things. And I've always said this, and I really still mean it. I hope that these stories will inspire you to do something. I don't expect everybody to start a nonprofit. I don't expect everybody to write a book or do all these grand things that a lot of the people I'm talking to are doing. But I think we can all do something. We can all do something. And so I hope that these stories are encouraging you to do that. I want to ask you to keep liking the posts, keep commenting. I love getting comments on YouTube and different places. Please keep doing that. Please keep telling me what you want to hear or, what you enjoyed or what was great. And please keep sharing. Miss Lisa at Drexel and Honeybees shares every post I make, I think. And I love it. I love it. It makes me so happy when she does that because it's getting more exposure. And, I don't have a huge audience. My audience is not as grand as, some people's, but that's not my goal. My goal is not to have a certain number. My goal is not to make a certain amount of money, which if it was, I'm failing miserably because I'm not making any money. But my goal is to encourage. I want to encourage people. I'm a Christian. I've said this many times. I've talked about my faith, and the Bible says that we are to love our neighbor as ourselves. The best way I can love my neighbor in this place right here is to encourage my guests. I can share their story and I can give them a platform to share with maybe a different audience. Maybe they don't have the same people listening that I do. So it's a new audience for them. And I'm encouraging them. I want them to feel good about the work that they're doing because I am amazed by it. I'm impressed with it and I want to share it. And so I just say thank you to everybody that has participated in any way, shape, or form this past year or these past 2 years. Thank you. Thank you, thank you, thank you for what you're doing for Life Stories. It really is an honor for me to be here. So this year has been really great. Every episode, I think I get a little more confidence and I get a little bit more excited about what I get to do. I have some really cool interviews coming up that I'm excited to share with you. One of the great things I did, I wish I would have done it a lot sooner, was join Podmatch. If you are a podcaster, why are you not on Podmatch? You need to be on Podmatch. If you are someone who wants to be a guest on podcasts, get on Podmatch. I'm telling you, it is an incredible program. Podmatch was founded by Alex and Alicia Sanfilippo, and they do such an incredible job at encouraging podcasters and providing resources and teaching and lots of things to help. But I will explain it as I remember it. And I apologize, Alex, if you're listening, if I don't say this correctly. But I think when he started this program, he wanted to set it up kind of like a dating app. I went in as a host and I put in all my criteria, who I would speak to, who I wouldn't speak to, what hours I'm available. I have different keywords that I can change at any time. And then people who want to be guests do the same thing. And so every day it matches you with multiple people. I've had a lot of guests on my show from Podmatch. It's just a great resource. It's very inexpensive. I think there's a fancy version that you can pay for. I pay for the cheap version, and really it's worth a lot more than what I pay. I encourage you to sign up for it if you're in either one of those positions. I think it's a great idea. The other thing I got involved with this year was Lasagna Love. When I edit, I'm going to put the links or the information about these episodes on the screen. So if you haven't watched the episode with Lasagna Love, go back and listen to it because it's a wonderful program. I know it's nationwide. I think it may be worldwide. I'm not sure. It's very simple. People who need a hot meal can sign up to receive one lasagna a month. And then someone that wants to bake a lasagna signs up. And you can sign up every week, you can sign up every month, or you can set it to however often you want to make a lasagna. After I finished my interview with this sweet woman from Delaware who's a volunteer for Lasagna Love, I signed up immediately. And so I've made 6 so far. I had to skip 1 month, but I've made 6 lasagnas so far. And it's just a very simple way to help somebody. When I make a lasagna for someone else, I usually make one for us for supper. So it's not like I'm having to make 2 different dinners. I just make 2. And it's just an easy way to help somebody else. It's very simple, but it's very profound. And the people that I have been able to cook for, they're always very appreciative of it. And so I encourage you to go sign up for that. It doesn't cost anything except for the ingredients for the lasagna. You set up the area that you're willing to drive to drop it off. It's a special program. And so I'm very happy to have gotten involved in that one this year. Another thing I did to get involved was when I spoke with Jessica Spear, who is an author of teen and preteen books. I was able to give the book that I bought and talk to her about to my granddaughter. She's written 3 books, I believe. I think she's working on another one. But the book that I bought was BFF or NRF. NRF stands for Not Real Friend. And it's a book about friendships. And as a woman, I can tell you, women's friendships are always complicated when you start when you're 5 until you're 50, apparently, because that's how old I am now. That friendships have always been tricky, especially friendships with girls. And so this book was a great resource to just for my granddaughter and my daughter to kind of go over it together and talk about different character traits in different people and what to look for when you know someone is your friend and what to look for when they're probably not your friend. It was wonderful. And I would love talking to Jessica. I want to get her other 2 books as well for my granddaughter. And then I was able to hand it over. I was happy to do that. So, when I have a guest on, I try to follow them on social media so I can keep up with what they're doing. I really am enjoying meeting these people and seeing the great things that they're doing in their lives. And so I love that I get to participate in these ways. I can't do it with everyone, but I love that I get to participate in different ways with my guests. So the other thing I did this year was I got to be a guest on a podcast. I have not signed up to be a guest on Podmatch. I'm not sure I'm ready to do it often. I think I did okay. I did not like in the beginning, she makes all her guests read this thing, before when it starts. And I sounded like a goofball because I don't read anything. I don't like reading from scripts. I just don't do it very well. It doesn't sound real to me. So I don't like it. So I sounded awkward in the beginning, I think. But besides that, I think I did okay. It was fun. It was really fun. It was hard to get out of host mode while I was talking to her because while I'm talking to her, she's asking me questions, but in my head, all I'm doing is thinking about things to ask her, even though that was not my job. But she's a pro. Pearl is a pro. She's got a great podcast, and I love Pearl, but I love talking to her. I love getting to be a guest on that show. A couple of weeks ago, I asked a question on Facebook, and there was only one person that responded, and that was Miss Lisa of Drexel and Honeybees. Drexel and Honeybees, if you did not listen to that episode, go listen to it. That is a donation only restaurant in Alabama. Miss Lisa and her husband have this restaurant that functions as a regular restaurant, but they do not require anybody to pay. Obviously, they accept donations. They have fundraising and receive funds from other places, but it's a safe place for people to go who want to have a dining experience without being able to pay. And, she made me think of some things that I've never thought about before in that conversation. And she is just such a sweetheart. And I loved talking to her. So if you haven't listened, go back and listen. But Miss Lisa is the one that asked the question. And she said, why did you start this podcast? What made you search out good vibes? I think is the way she worded it. So you've probably heard this before if you've listened to my podcast. I started for fun, genuinely started for fun. I just like talking to people. I like finding out about your life. Where are you from? Have you always lived there? What are you doing here? What was your childhood like? I like asking lots of questions. Maybe I'm just nosy. I don't know. But I really wanted to do it for fun because I know a lot of people in my personal life who have great stories. I think everybody has a story to share. Maybe they're not all shareable for podcasts, but I think everybody has a story. And I wanted to talk to those people that have, really neat stories. And I wanted to share those. Didn't quite work out like I thought it would. If you're going to start something new, be prepared to be the only person who has the same passion as you. It may just be you who get super excited and hopeful about what you're wanting to do, but that's okay. It's okay if you're the only one. Keep going. That shouldn't keep you from starting. Keep going. Just don't expect everybody to be as excited as you are. I just started doing episodes myself, just me talking about my life and different things that had happened in my life. And I still enjoy doing that. I want to keep doing that. But I went to the Behind Her Brand conference in 2023. Yes, 2023. That was like a launching pad for my podcast. That is another thing. If you're a woman and you are in business, you have your own business, or you're want to start a business, or you are an entrepreneur, or even you have an idea, you're not even ready yet to start, go to Behind Her Brand, follow them on Facebook, join the community if you're able to, and go to the conference in March, because I'm telling you, it is such an incredible place to connect with other women who genuinely want to help. It's not just a bunch of girls that get together and talk. No, these women really want to help other women. I love getting to share. I have friends that have podcasts. I love listening to theirs and sharing them. I love getting their books. I love getting to do whatever I can to help these other people, sharing their posts on social media. That doesn't sound like a big deal, but it really is a big deal, because when you do that, you're sharing this information with an audience that I may not have or someone else may not have. So that community has helped me so much. That first conference I went to last year, my first 4 or 5 guests came from that conference. And I kind of gained a little bit of confidence every time. I don't even want to go back and watch that first one because Michelle was very gracious with me. But I hope I've improved since then. That conference helped a lot getting me on the track of talking to guests. And I realized after several guests that the people I was speaking with were all helping other people. And that's not what I was looking for, but that's just kind of how it happened. And I thought, I'm just going to look for people that are helping other people. It's been very easy to find. I'm very thankful. So I began researching nonprofits. I reach out, I Google, I find their website, I read as much as I can about what they're doing, and then I reach out to them. Some people have not responded at all. Some people have not been interested, but most people have said yes. After I started that, I decided, because I was talking to people all over. I've even spoken to people in other countries, which has been really cool. But I decided to set a goal to speak to someone in every state. And so that's what I'm doing now. I have a map on my website, and you can look at it and see all the states that are colored in are ones that I have already, spoken to someone in. So I'm still working on that goal. I'm not there yet. But I love getting to do what I'm doing. I love getting to meet people. I mean, I could sit here and go look at that map and read every state and tell you who I talk to and what they're doing. And I'm amazed. I'm just amazed. It's so fun for me to get to talk to these people. So I have some changes I've been talking about on Facebook. I've been kind of teasing about these new things that I'm going to do. I know it doesn't look really different right now, but I promise all of this is going to look different soon. Um, so here's how it's going to go. I started just for fun. I went to talking to people who are helping others, and I want to keep doing that. That's going to be my main focus. But there are some other areas that I'm branching out into. And so Life Stories is still going to be Life Stories, but one of the aspects will be Life Stories, people helping people. When I post each episode, I'll be able to clarify what that episode is about. So I'm going to keep doing people helping people because I love those stories. That is exciting to me. It's fun. People are always thankful that I get to share their story or their organization or their book or whatever it is. They're always thankful that I get to do that. And so I'm going to keep talking to people helping people. But I am an avid reader. I read a lot, and I read a lot of fiction. I love mysteries. I love psychological thrillers. I know that sounds crazy. I read a lot of fiction, a lot of funny comedy, just I love fiction books. And I love meeting authors. I have several signed copies of books, which are treasures to me. I will not loan those out to anyone. I have Redeeming Love signed by Francine Rivers. I have Dear Mr. Knightley signed by Catherine Ray. I mean, those are special. Those are just really special books to me. And I want to talk to authors. I want to talk to authors of books that I love and adore. And so I've been reaching out to several authors. So the next section of stories that I'm going to do will be Life Stories for the Love of Books. And I am so excited to share these with you. I recorded my first episode on Monday, and these episodes will air the third Monday of the month. The third Monday of the month will be Life Stories for the Love of Books. If you follow me on Facebook, you can see my reel that's coming up about the author that I have on Monday. Super, super excited. It was so fun to talk to him, and I'm excited to share his books with you because you'll love them. One of the things that I've said before, and this is really true, if I recommend a book to you, whether in my personal life or especially on my podcast, I will not recommend it unless I've read it. And I will not meet with somebody on Life Stories if I've not read their book. I mean, I will not talk about their book if I've not read their book. So if I have an author on and we talk about their book, I'm only doing that because I have actually read the entire thing and I think it's good. I don't think it's fair to you to share a book that I don't know anything about. I can't recommend one to you without knowing it. I'm not really doing them justice if I don't read their book first before I talk to them. So these authors that I'm talking to, all four of them have written books that I have absolutely adored. One of the authors later on, I mean, I don't even know how many times I've read her books, multiple times. I've shared them in multiple book clubs. I'm so excited to talk to her. Anyway, that's coming up later. The third section of Life Stories will be Life Stories Ministries Making a Difference. I have done some faith-based interviews, not a lot, but I've done a handful of them, and I wanted to do more. But just like the authors, just like the fiction authors, there wasn't really a place specifically for that. Well, now there's going to be. There's a lot of ministries I would like to talk to that are doing great things. I haven't decided during the month when that's going to be, but once I get several booked and recorded, then I will try to do it at the same time every month, and I'll make sure I clarify all of that. I love getting to do what I'm doing, and I just say thank you because if people weren't listening at all, I don't think I would keep going. I don't know that I would. I don't know. I keep going. I love it. I love talking to people. I love learning about their lives. I love sharing their stories and encouraging them. I love getting to do what I do. So thank you. Thank you for being a part of Life Stories. Thank you for all that you've done to help or to encourage or to, just send a message or just share a post. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. I cannot say that enough. Thank you for being with me today to celebrate Life Stories. And next Monday on the 21st, will be the first For the Love of Books episode, and I encourage you to listen. Thanks for being here. Have a great day.